Hi everyone, welcome to Life, Loss and Hope. I'm here today to talk about Father's Day and to honour the role of fathers. Father's Day is the second largest celebrated day for a family member, and it is observed all around the world as a day to pay special honour and tributes to fathers. Who is a father? Billy Graham said that, and I quote, "A good father is one of the most unsung, unpraised, unnoticed, and yet one of the most valuable assets in our society." And George Strait said, "Daddies just don't love their children every now and again. It's a love without an end." Father's Day can be painfully bittersweet for many reasons. For those who have been fatherless, those who have had an emotionally distant or an abusive father, and for those of us who are grieving the death of a father. I shared in the Mother's Day video about the early loss of my mother and my father's recovery from cancer. Everything changed after Mum died. You know how it is. I used to ring home and my dad would answer the phone, "Hi, how are you doing?" And his reply was always, "Fine, I'll get your mother." However, afterwards, my dad moved into a whole new dimension of relationship with us. He was a pillar of love, strength, thoughtfulness and care. We had long conversations. We ran together, shared our faith. He remembered every birthday, and I still cherish his handwritten cards. Our family nicknamed him the Legend. He climbed mountains, he ran marathons, he loved his church life and the great outdoors. And to us, he seemed invincible. It's hard to imagine our parents not being alive forever. However, Dad was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which was well managed for years, and a miracle drug trial gave him an extra 2 years. And I was so thankful to God for that time with my dad, as he supported me through the heartbreaking, toughest loss of my life. He used to talk to me about his own life being a life of two halves. He understood the pain. He understood the pain of death and the joy of remarrying, and he reassured me that there was life after loss. Thankfully, he had his joy of seeing me meet my second husband and was able to walk me down the aisle. I still hold his words close as he told me he was delighted that I was loved, cherished, and was going to be looked after. My dad was brave and courageous. We spent a wonderful weekend with him in Scotland and the whole family shortly before he died. He wanted us to drive him up north to see his beloved mountains. He looked well and was going to have another course of drug treatment. However, when we got home, I woke in the night to a little voice, a word in my spirit, and it was the word collapse. It didn't really make any sense to me, and I prayed it wasn't about my dad, as I'd booked a trip to America on the Wednesday morning. However, on the Tuesday evening, just as I was packed up and ready to go out early the next morning, my dad's wife called me to say that he had collapsed and was in hospital. I just knew, right here in what I call my Noah, that God had spoken that word to me to prepare me for this time. So my trip to US was cancelled and I flew to Scotland instead. And thankfully, we spent that last day with him holding his hand, praying, and he died peacefully. And even as I recall this, I'm so grateful that I wasn't on a flight to Chicago. I would have heard that news when I was thousands of miles from home, on my own, and not being able to be with my dad to say goodbye. It truly was a miracle. Today, as Father's Day is celebrated, I hold in my heart and prayers all of you who've not experienced the blessing of a good father, all who are hurting, all who are separated from their dads, and all of us who are still grieving the loss of a father. As I miss my own father, one of the things I find so comforting is visualizing his hands. Hands we held, weather-beaten, strong, hands that had worked the land, hands that told 100 stories. And I also anchor my emotions in the hands of my Heavenly Father. In the words of Isaiah 41, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed. I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous hand."